You're lying. This document doesn't exist. You are a liar. You're always making stuff up, Jay. Pinesap never even knew it existed. This is the modus operandi of the Roman Catholic Pope splainers. Okay. Trads don't do this, by the way. Most trads don't do this. This is the Pope splainers specifically. They hear scandal. Step one, automatic brain response. You're a liar. This is a lie. This is fake. We're going to pretend it doesn't exist. That's the only way that they can remain in their system for as long as they do. So basically, Jay Dyer calls in to the Pinesap live stream, or Pinesap was doing an X space, and Jay calls in to kind of correct him on some things. Because in the Epstein files, it basically says Pope John Paul II had Epstein living in the Vatican with him. So they ran a bunch of cover and stuff. We're going to talk about it a little in more detail during this live stream, but a bunch of Roman Catholics were trying to cover up this scandal like crazy. They all dived in. They all dove in. They were like, no, this is fake news. This is all fake. This is all fake. But it's not fake. It literally is what the files say. So I'll share this up on the screen. We'll watch the little clip here from the call in from Jay and Pinesap. Jay calls in to discuss this with him, and then he talks about contradictions in teaching in the Roman Catholic Church. So Jay calls in, absolutely bodies Pinesap on Skittles priests contradiction. Pinesap had no idea the document even existed. Let's take a look at that.
The fifth says that gay priests are to be put to death, and the Vatican bishops in Italy just said that gay priests can be gay, openly gay people can become priests. Is that a contradiction?
Actually, Pope Francis said that gay priests should not enter the clergy. This headline clipping belongs to TMZ,
no,
bro. This belongs to TMZ. Are you kidding me?
Italian bishops.
I'm not going to believe anything you say, Jay. You do this all the time, bro.
So there's the article right there. Vatican approves document allowing Skittles men to become priests in Italy. So if you want to watch more about this discussion, go check out that Alex Soren stream that I just wrapped up on. We were talking about this subject here. We dove into, you know what, I'll just do it again. Why not? We'll talk about it a little bit. So I pull up this document to show Pinesap had no idea what he's talking about. He didn't even know this document exists, yet he goes ahead right out the gate and says, Jay Dyer is just a liar. You're lying. This document doesn't exist. You are a liar. You're always making stuff up, Jay. Pinesap never even knew it existed. This is the modus operandi of the Roman Catholic Pope splainers. Okay. Trads don't do this, by the way. Most trads don't do this. This is the Pope splainers specifically. They hear scandal. Step one, automatic brain response. You're a liar. This is a lie. This is fake. We're going to pretend it doesn't exist. That's the only way that they can remain in their system for as long as they do, is by automatically saying, this is a lie. Day one, this is a lie. No hesitation, by the way. Had never heard about the document. Look at his response.
The clergy. This headline clipping belongs to TMZ, bro. This belongs to TMZ. Are you kidding me?
Italian bishops.
I'm not going to believe anything you say, Jay. You do this all the time, bro.
So
you're lying. I'm not going to believe anything you say. That's the immediate response. No hesitation.
So what you say, what you go is you say, oh, okay, these gay bishops are allowed, or these gay priests are allowed. The Italian Bishops Conference, dude. Okay, let me say for a moment. Let me say you're not lying. Let me grant for a moment that you're not lying, which you most certainly are. Even if I was to grant, even if I was to grant
that you're not lying, you're still a liar. Even if I was to grant you're not lying, this still doesn't disprove the Roman Catholic Church. The argument is that this is a contradiction in teaching. So what Jay had said earlier was the earlier popes basically said if you were Skittles, you deserve, right? That was the official policy. Now they say you could be priests. So that's where the argument is. So he's saying, even if I were to grant that that's what the Italian bishop says, that doesn't disprove Roman Catholicism. Oh, well, you know, you just have contradictions in your doctrine, right?
Even if I was to grant that a bishop's conference said something cringe, how does that disprove the church?
The fifth says that.
Yeah, this is crazy. Cleave, did you make this clip? It's awesome. Yeah, I did. I made that clip. Somebody clipped the whole 20-minute discussion and posted it on Jay's post on X. So if you don't watch the whole 20-minute discussion, go ahead. This was just a 1-minute little short teaser, the kill shot of this discussion. But I thought that was funny. So Pinesap goes ahead and he crashes out and he has a big cope fest about this information here. And before I even go in there, let's read what James Martin has to say on this subject. So James Martin talks about the subject of the Skittles priests being allowed into seminaries. And he says, wow, this is an amazing change. He says, even though there are these guidelines here, this is an amazing big innovation. We love this. Let's keep going. James Martin, if you don't know, he's a openly pro-Skittles Roman Catholic priest. This is his whole ministry, is towards Skittles people. But this is what he says. He says, news. In a newly released document approved by the Vatican, the Italian Bishops' Conference has set out guidelines for seminary formation, including the question of whether Skittles men can be admitted to seminaries and therefore ordained as priests. It says those with quote-unquote deep-seated Skittles tendencies, those who cannot live chastely, and those who support the so-called Skittles culture cannot be admitted. This has always been the case, and deep-seated tendencies, quote-unquote, has been interpreted in different ways by bishops and seminary rectors. So he's saying it's a subjective teaching. He's like, deep-seated, it's all about how flamboyant you are, honey. If you flamboyant, you ain't getting in. So you just got to hide it a little bit. That's basically it. That's basically what he's saying. If you can hide it real well, you can get in, basically. So if it's super obvious, then they might not let you into seminary. But if it's a little less obvious, then you're good to go, which is evident by the documentary he talked about, I think just last week. It talks about 80% of clergy in the Roman Catholic Church are Skittles. 80%. That's what the documentary claims. Anyway, James Martin says, well, then it says something new. My translation. In the training process, when reference is made to Skittles tendencies, it's also appropriate not to reduce discernment only to this aspect, but as for every candidate to grasp its meaning in the overall picture of the young person's personality. So this isn't the only thing. So if there's other things that outweigh this, it's fine. That's what he's saying. So that by getting to know each other and integrating the objectives inherent to the human and presbyterial vocation reaches a general harmony. So if a person is Skittles, but the other things outweigh it, it's okay. That's basically what the document says. This is James Martin's commentary. This is the first time I've seen in a Vatican-approved document the suggestion that discernment about whether a Skittles man may enter seminary cannot simply be determined by his Skittles orientation. This is a new thing. This is what James Martin is saying. This is brand new. Even though it says they have to live chastely, that's already a requirement for priests, period. Right? So that's nothing new, right? But the fact that they're saying, look, if you're Skittles, but as long as you promise to live chaste, you're okay. This is new. This is a new thing. Okay. My reading of this, and it's only my reading, is that if a Skittles man is able to lead a healthy, chaste, and celibate life, he may be considered for admission to the seminary. So as I see it, this is something of a step forward. And then he links the actual document. So this is the statement by James Martin talking about what was being discussed in the J. Dyer column there just a moment ago. Feels guy, Pinesap, says, tell the full story, little man. So these guys just lie. I mean, Pinesap, all of these Pope splainers just lie. That's what they do. They try to cover up scandal. They try to say the church doesn't actually teach what it teaches. They try to say that they know it better than their own hierarchs, so on and so forth. This is what he says. He posts, and it's crazy if you just watch that clip. He accuses Jay of like farming the titles like TMZ. What does he do? He posts just the title of an article here. Vatican did not release Skittles priests. Understand the quote unquote Italian CNBB document. So I post what is actually in the document there and what the correction article says about it. Okay. Exactly what James Martin said. While profoundly, this is the quote unquote clarification document. While profoundly respecting the persons in question, cannot admit to the seminary or to holy orders those who practice Skittles. So they got to be celibate? Yeah, duh. That's what James Martin just said. Present deep-seated Skittles tendencies or support the so-called Skittles culture. Such persons, in fact, find themselves in a situation that gravely hinders them from relating correctly to men and women. This is literally what James Martin just said. So how is this a correction? You're just taking the title of an article without reading it at all, posting it and saying, this debunks what you said. These guys just lie. That's all they do. It's absolutely insane. So he says, Jay referenced a nothing burger from last year we long debunked. Hence why he crops out the headline date in his post. Focus on that hairline instead of lying through your teeth. Oh, he got me, dude. I'm so bald, dude. He got me. It's over. It's over. Let me get... Spam, it's over in the chat. It's over. But anyway, I say by long debunked, you mean a quote-unquote clarification after the fact that says they won't be allowing flamboyant, obviously practicing Skittles people in, but defend their statement regarding allowing Skittles people in general to become priests. Too long didn't read. Yeah, we're letting them in, but not like if they're super obvious about it. So this is the level of deception that they're rising to. They don't care, dude. They don't care. Anything to defend the cult. That's all it is. He had no idea what this document was 5 seconds ago. Okay. I posted a clip at 4:46. This was not that long after the discussion. Maybe, I don't know. I think his X space was still going. And then he comments almost immediately after. He didn't even know this document existed. He's just reading headlines. He's not doing any research. He's doing the exact same thing that he is accusing Jay of doing. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. I thought that was kind of funny. That was a really funny interaction. But yeah, it's over. It's over. That's right. Yeah, crazy.